You've produced and directed Lion, which I got to see 2 episodes of. Another film that you've made, Queens.
Yes.
Narrated by Jella Bassett.
Yes.
What?
The Queen Mother.
What?
Yes.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world.
And now with all this knowledge in filmmaking, you informed us that you're going to launch the Nuru Film Institute. Are you going to teach us what you know?
Yeah, and even what I don't know.
Karibu, Nairobi National Park.
Santi sana.
Yeah, I know you've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you been here?
I would say maybe 5 times.
Uh-huh.
But I would say it's not a park I feel like I know really well, like Masai Mara, that one, or like Kipio Savo, Amboseli even. Those I would say I know so well.
Yes.
And then P is still really new.
Yeah.
Baboons.
Yeah, tuko na jam hapa traffic because of baboons.
Putting on a show.
Yeah.
Wamelipwa.
Yeah.
Action.
I was doing research on you, and when someone says I've done research on you, it could go both ways. Either I'm stalking you,
exactly.
or obviously I'm doing just research. And I discovered that you were an intern in a production of a motion picture, Edge of Darkness.
Yes! Wow, that's it's like a deep dive.
Yeah.
That was a Mel Gibson motion
Movie,
picture.
yeah. That's such a huge thing.
Back in the day.
Yeah, in 2010, and then now 2026, you've produced and directed Lion, which I got to see 2 episodes of, and I think it's a really good docuseries on wildlife. So between 2010 and 2026, and I'm sure even before then, you've been working in film. At what point did you see a film and say, okay, this is probably what I could do?
I would say all the way from when I was in primary school, because I used to tell people I'm going to be a film director. I'm going to be a film director. But I think, because I've thought about it, it started, my folks used to work for this organization called Campus Crusade for Christ. And so they would travel all over Kenya, and my dad would even go outside Kenya, and they would show this film called the Jesus film. And it would be like those old school projectors. We're in the middle of nowhere, Maasai land. We've got a sheet up, and some of my earliest memories of the projector just going, that sounded big, it's like choo choo, because they would put us next to the projector, you know, snacks and drinks, mlale, we watch it. And so I think that's where my love for film came in, because I saw the transformational power of people watching something, and then it changes something within them. I mean, that was a Jesus film, but the same can be said for just fiction pieces or documentary or wildlife. Yeah.
And with Lion, which is your current project that you're about to, I guess, release.
Yeah.
On your IG post when you're announcing Lion, at the very end of the caption, I liked what you said. You said you're absolutely gobsmacked that a girl from a small town in Machakos is producing and directing a series that is going to be on National Geographic, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
It's a really big deal, and I'm so impressed you remember that. But it is, you know, I think the thing about life is quite often you're connecting the dots and you're not stopping to, at least for me anyway, to take stock of, oh my gosh, I've gone from this step to this step, because there are always these challenges, right? And then you go to the next step. So in reflecting that this huge thing is happening, there's always that sense of, how in the world did I get here? Because I couldn't even, if I put it on a blueprint and a map, no one else could walk this path to get to where I am, because so many different things had to happen for everything to come together. But it's a really big deal, and I'm just so mindful to be grateful of the journey, because not everything lasts forever.
No, it is a good film. I watched the 2 episodes and I can't wait to watch the rest.
Yes.
Because you left us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, 4 episodes in total. That's how
Yeah.
we string you along for all 4 episodes.
Yeah. This is a family of baboons. We've come across, it's a really big family. You can see the alpha there.
Yo, it's massive.
He's big.
So do you guys have people that study them at NNP, or they're just not really?
Yes, there's a conservation science department. It's called Species, and they do research on. It's mostly scientists.
Wow.
They do research on different species of animals, not just in NNP, but like in all parks, but specifically on species. But I realized, like especially baboons, here at NNP, they're bigger than baboons in other parks. I don't know, it's maybe because the quality of food here, or they're able to get food easily because they're clever. They could, go to multimedia university. They could come here to the, offices to kind of, like even here in our offices, if you leave your office window,
They come in.
oh, you're going to regret it. Especially if you have like sugar, kahawa, cocoa in your drawer. Sugar.
'Cause they like the things
they
we
like
like.
sugar. Yeah.
One of the things someone told me in my field, I don't even remember where we were, but they said if you're ever stuck in the bush
Yeah.
and you don't know what to eat, and you happen to come across baboons, if you eat what they eat, you'll survive, because baboons tend to eat what humans eat, but don't eat what monkeys eat, because monkeys will eat they're able to eat some things that we're not able to tolerate.
That's a really good tip.
So I thought, how
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm going to use that. I mean, I hope not to be in a situation where I'm dependent on baboon food. But if I was, that's a really good tip to know.
Yeah, because it's things like leaves, and you see how they forage, and then they pick stuff up. So they were saying, if you pay attention to what they're picking up, pick up the exact same thing, and you'll be okay.
You can see the big boy there.
He's like, this is my family.
It's interesting being an alpha in this kind of family, because they all depend on you to get food. So you have to, I guess, direct them on, this morning we are going this direction. Hopefully we are going to get something.
Must be nice to like lead and people just like follow without questions.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a huge responsibility, because also the security of the park
Oh, true, yeah.
is on you.
What's going on with that one? He's got something sticking out under his tail.
I think it's a baby baboon, right?
This,
Below?
clinging
it's
to
a
a
clinging,
mom.
Yeah, it's a mom
With the baby's
with
tail.
the baby, clinging
Ah,
on her belly.
yeah, wow.
Yeah. Another film that you've made, Queens,
Yes,
narrated by Angela Bassett.
yes.
What?
The Queen Mother.
What?
Yes. Yeah, that was amazing. So Queens was a series about female-led animal societies in the natural world. And the reason that series was made was because quite a lot of wildlife films will focus on the males, because the males seem to have the sexy storylines, right?
And in control.
Fighting for territory, like that dude. He's got his family. Let's follow this dude. But Queens was about, hey, let's focus on just the female, the matriarchal societies.
Yeah.
And filmed over almost 4 years across different locations in the world. I was fortunate enough to work on the episodes filmed in Kenya.
Yeah.
And DRC and Alaska. So that was amazing.
Yeah, so it's following matriarchs and
So elephants, hyenas,
yeah.
whales, bears, geladas in Ethiopia. Geladas are those big monkeys with the wavy hair.
Yeah.
And then Ethiopian wolves. So it was just those female-led societies. And then, of course, you do a series like that called Queens, and you want the ultimate queen to narrate it.
Yeah.
And Angela was just...
She's perfect for that narration. Yeah.
She was amazing and so gracious.
Yeah.
Because as a producer, quite often what that means is you're responsible for who's on location, and then most importantly, how the episode's put together, along with the editor. But when it comes to the narration, because it's one of the final things that happens, you typically, especially on these big shows, like Queens was for Nat Geo Disney again. So at the end of the show, when you're working with such a big talent, producers never get to meet the talent, because now it's the executives, the series producers, the Nat Geo team that goes across. But I happened to meet Angela, and she was so gracious, amazing. You'd think, she's been around forever, she's achieved all these things, that she would be some type of way. But she's
the opposite. She is a queen.
She is a queen, exactly. Like when I met her, I was like, should I? Like,
should I bow?
Should I bow?
like in Wakanda, she was the queen.
She was the queen in
the
Wakanda.
matriarch in Wakanda.
Yeah. She just has that aura. But even with that aura, she was just so gracious. So what a privilege, man.
A spear against her own husband for Wakanda.
Where is her treacherous husband now? But in a place where she can visit if she wished. Mine! It's with the ancestors! I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone! Have I not given everything?
I was doing research on elephants, and I've learned a lot about elephants over the years. Them being matriarchal, it's a really huge responsibility, because the oldest female will lead the herd for kilometers, days in, days out, in drought, in rainy season, and they pass on their knowledge of knowing routes and how to protect the herd to their eldest daughter. It's a really huge responsibility, and her instincts will save the herd.
I find that so amazing and captivating, because you spend time with them, right? And you watch how that happens, and you see they've got personalities. You can, especially when you're sitting with them and you're watching how they interact, you can tell who they don't like in the group, but it's it's like they're part of the family, so here we are. But elephants are my favorite. Of all the animals I filmed, elephants are just still my favorite, because you make eye contact with them and you're like, hey, there's someone here. Because some animals, they just have that look in their eyes where you're not sure, like, is someone present inside that body? But an elephant looks at you and you feel like
they can see you.
You're looking at a soul.
They have that thing of and they can tell whether you're just there to just watch them, or you're trying to get close. And they give you that look when you're about to get close.
They do
change.
and equally on the other side, when they trust you and they've got babies and they bring their babies closer, it's almost, the way I see it, it's like the equivalent of if a human has a baby and they bring them to you, there's like a trust, and it always makes me so emotional, like when an elephant brings its baby, because they're showing you, well, I trust you. I trust. So you feel, let me, like, you feel that responsibility, let me behave accordingly. But the sad thing is, people never get to have that relationship, because the reality is people live side by side with these animals, and they don't have the luxury of sitting in like a filming vehicle or safari vehicle. They get to encounter elephants on a real life. They've come into my farm, they're eating all my crop, the crop that I was going to pay the fees. So you can understand why not everyone would be moved at elephant, cute. It's like, what? Let's get them away.
And the scale of an elephant, I mean, ideally what you think the size of an elephant is in your head, once you spot one or you get close to one, it's bigger than what you think it is. And so I mean, a small mistake would would be very
like
fatal.
That. And I think that's one of the things where you realize how, because as an outsider, and by outsider I mean people who are not in this, who don't get to encounter wildlife like we do. you can think, this country, people don't take care of animals. But the moment you spend time with a lot of the animals in Kenya, you realize they behave like animals that are protected.
Yeah.
And the only way you realize that is you go to a country where they're not protected, and you're not going to have that encounter with elephants.
True.
Because they're busy charging you.
Yeah.
They're busy sitting on your car. They're trying to, because you see those clips from other, I won't mention the country.
The country, no, yeah.
And you go, yeah, it's because those elephants are not protected.
Yeah.
But
and they don't live freely.
they don't. And so when you see that scale, to get back to your point, you just go, I am so glad they're protected in Kenya, because if they were not, there would be more incidents, and because of their size, sadly, incidents would be deadly.
Yeah. And what about the spotted hyenas? I know they're very matriarchal as well.
Yeah, I love them, which is crazy because most people go, "Ay, hyena."
Yeah, it has this negative character that people have put in their head.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have a different side in it. I always see people talking bad about hyenas, but they clean up the ecosystem. I'm sure there would be, quite a few zoonotic diseases that would be going around if it wasn't for hyenas, because they do the dirty work. They
exactly that.
eat the carcasses of animals. With the help of vultures, but they're also clever.
So clever, and they're so hectic. Let me tell you, I used to have that attitude, because if you don't know very much about them and you're just seeing them at face value, their behavior is like weird, right? Because their greetings, everything about them, I mean, they seem ugly, but you spend time with them and you see how they conduct themselves. They're such hustlers, like those are true hustlers. And even like one of the craziest sightings I've ever had was in the Mara Triangle, and it was I was working on a show called Safari Live.
Yes.
And the hyena had broken both front legs, and I was directing a show. So it's whenever you see something like that, it was a live show, that's like great content, because it implies something will happen, and also it gives you want to get something that presenters can talk about. So this hyena is like walking like this on its elbows, if you can call this elbows, right?
Yeah.
It's walking like that, and you're going, oh, Kibo, yeah, this hyena, I don't know if it's gonna make it, because it's just like, you see it moving. And then there was a pride of lions. I think they were called the Owino Pride. So they come out, and you're going, oh no, this is now an epic battle. They're going to finish this hyena, and you've already kind of like made, I mean, I don't know if you make peace, but you just kind of go, okay, you know what's going to happen, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm already thinking, which other link can we cut away to? But this hyena got up on its legs. Remember, its legs are broken. It got up and it ran away. Like it just like whoosh. And I couldn't believe it. I just thought, that's a survivor. That if it can forget that its legs are broken to take off to save its life, you have to respect that animal. If nothing else, just So I've got
survival instincts.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for hyenas.
Yeah, you mentioned Safari Live. Right now, with content, streaming has become the newest thing that people gravitate towards. Watching streamers.
Oh my
You were doing it before then, live streaming. You're doing it before it became a thing. In 2017.
Oh wow!
With Safari Live, which is a YouTube show.
Yep.
And now it's Wild Earth, where you live stream twice a day in different locations within the park.
Yep.
About wildlife, and yours is way harder than the streaming that we know of now, because the subjects don't care. They don't even know that you're filming. But then you also have to find a way to entertain the audience.
Yeah.
That's another level of streaming.
It is.
So how do you come up, when you say you're going to stream today, because you can't come up with a story.
No.
The only thing you can control is the location.
Yeah.
So what was your routine like?
So hands down like one of the most exciting things you could ever do. Like that whole the unknown. So we would there were teams, there were directing teams, which is what I was, a broadcast director. So we've got a control room, and we had the camera teams. So the camera team would be a presenter in the car, and then a camera operator. And so in the morning, everyone wakes up way before the sun rises, and then the director goes into the control room, and then the camera teams go off into the field. And we had 2 locations, by the way. There was there were teams in Mara Triangle, and even the national park or the national reserve. And then in SA, we had more teams in a private game reserve called Chuma. So basically, and you're seeing all these feeds at the same time if you're directing the show.
So Kenyan feeds and South
African feeds, if you can picture it. So you've got sometimes anything from 3 to 6, sometimes 7 feeds.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Is the control room, like right now, people are watching the World Cup.
Yeah,
there's that control room where different cameras within the pitch. There's a room where the director is watching different angles of different,
Very similar to like the room the VAR refs sit in, where you're seeing the different things. So I mean, when you have that many feeds going out, you're kind of giving yourself the best fighting chance to get content. That being said, a morning like today, you would have where it's cold, it's a bit, the sun hasn't come out yet. You would have a tough time finding animals, because animals like to cuddle up and stay warm. Once the sun comes out, at least maybe you might see something. But I think I actually loved the slower mornings, because then you focus on the small things. Because when you're doing a live show, sometimes people think a live show is exciting if you can show the cheetah, the lion, the leopard. I mean, those are all exciting. But if you've got a presenter who's a trained guide, naturalist, and they can stop and do a segment on the different grasses and talk about who eats what, the function, its role in the ecosystem, it becomes really exciting, because then you realize these are not just random plants. You start understanding the ecosystem and why they're important for the insects and the herbivores and all of that. So the exciting thing is you never knew what would happen. So you're on your toes watching all 6 feeds, and then if someone, let's say you've got all 6 feeds and no one's got anything, the moment someone would find something, it's like the joy you feel, everything is kind of amplified when it's a live show, because you're feeling everything times 100. So you'd be so happy, you go to that. And then one of the other challenges is when you've got 6 different things happening, how do you weave a story that feels connected? Yeah. So that would be the challenge you have as a broadcast director. Yeah. So one of the things I would do is, let's say we've got one feed that's on a giraffe and another feed that's got elephants. And let's say we're on the giraffe feed and we're about to cut to the elephant feed. So I'd make sure I am updating the elephant feed on what the giraffe feed is saying. Just little moments.
To weave.
So when we cut to them, it can be they can weave. They can find a way to reference some of the things that were mentioned.
So the presenters had to be on point. So everyone had to be on point. The cameraman, the presenter, you, the guys who are operating at the control room. So it's like a dance.
It really is.
So everyone has
high stakes.
To,
And sometimes we would do live shows for Nat Geo Wild, and so Nat Geo Wild, they're based in the US. So the challenge of that is a time difference. Yeah. So because they'd want to do it at prime time, which is at night, at I think between like 9 or 10 in the US. So for us it would be in the morning. Sometimes it's even before the sun's gone up. So you're trying to think.
It's a bit darker.
How else? And then sometimes, unfortunately, when you're dealing with you know, a organization or company like Nat Geo, sometimes they want assurances. Like, what are you going to show us? And because they're the client, you can't go, it's the wild, anything can happen. So you have to find a clever way to kind of get them excited without making them freak out that we literally don't have anything, we can't say anything.
So you have to balance giving them hope.
Yeah, and being realistic. So whatever happens, they kind of go, okay, you know, that's good, as opposed to, we're going to see a lion hunting and a leopard going up a tree with a kid. I mean, you cannot do that, because then when that doesn't happen, then
what do?
They're disappointed.
Yeah. You've worked on very many films, and in different capacities as a director, writer, editor. And one thing that I've seen with aspiring filmmakers is that they don't really know the different aspects in making a film. Usually when a movie ends, there are end credits, and there are so many people who are being credited, and those are jobs, right? And so you could be good at audio, you could be good at light, you could be good at writing, you could be good at, so instead of a filmmaker thinking of making the entire film or just being a director, maybe what are different components in film that people would probably
not
think of, or maybe mention a few that if aspiring filmmakers would want, you would advise them to, okay, maybe try this.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm always telling young upcoming filmmakers is there's something called pre-production, which is, there's a lot that goes into it. So before, let's say we're going to do a series at NNP, so pre-production would be, we get a team of researchers. Let's say you're the director and the producer and I'm the cinematographer. We would get, even before we've talked about anything else, we get a researcher to tell us what's happening at NNP, and it would be a breakdown during the whole year. When do the rains come in? Which animals are we seeing? And basically we'd be trying to find stories that have an arc, something that happens, because it can't be, oh, we've got giraffes and end of the story. It's like, okay, what are the giraffes doing today? Is there one that's pregnant, that's about to have a baby? Because that's a good story where you can start thinking, oh, what can be the dangers that giraffes have to go through?
During
thinking
pregnancy.
The end is the giraffe has the baby and they live happily ever after. So the researcher, which is a position that not enough filmmakers will take advantage of, that's such a crucial part, because it helps you focus your story, it helps you focus your resources, because you also can't just show up without knowing anything and going, okay, we're going to do a series. Whatever we film. Some people do it that way, but it's a very expensive way. And by expensive, I mean you're going to need a lot of people going through your footage, trying to make sense of it. Like, where's the story?
That's a very huge problem that I also go through, where I'm just randomly shooting and I have to go through GBs of footage to get what I want. So, and in research, you don't have to be a wildlife expert, but you can sit down with a wildlife expert and kind of get different stories. And
so that's actually part of what the researchers do. They'll talk to the you said the researchers organization is called Species.
Yes.
So they would give them a call and go, hey, what are the baboons doing? What's any interesting behavior you're observing? So they would speak to a few people doing studies at NNP, and they'd even speak to the rangers at KWS, the guys who are the boots on the ground, seeing stuff. Is there anything interesting you've seen? I've heard there's like a python here. And then one of the other exciting things I would consider even is, or produce, just to generally, is people know what NNP is like during the day. What's happening at night? That's an interesting story.
Something unique,
So that's part of the, so pre-production is huge. It helps you maximize or give yourself the best possible shot, at making an interesting story. And then the thing though is even the best laid plans, right? Because you could come in going, we've got a pregnant giraffe. We know someone kind of recorded when they mated. We know roughly when the baby is due. And then you could come in and the giraffe is like MIA.
Or dead, you know.
Yeah,
it was
you go,
eaten by a lion, like a pride of lion.
It was eaten. You go, okay.
And you heavily relied on, your story heavily relied on
on
that pregnancy.
Yes.
So what do you do?
So the advantage of doing research is you never put all your eggs in one basket and go, this is the story, it's this or nothing. Never. Like business, you cannot do that. So because it's a business, that's the other side.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people don't realize it's educational, it's entertainment. Of course, we're trying to make people fall in love with the natural world, but it's also a business.
Yep.
So in any business, you have to hedge your bets. So if the giraffe story doesn't work out, what else did you as a producer say, these are the potential other stories?
Yeah. Also investments, that's what you do.
Yeah,
when you invest
exactly.
And let me take you back to Lion. You did say you had other stories.
Yeah.
Can you tell me one?
Yeah. So let me see. There's some I'm not able to tell you because of an NDA until it's released, but I can tell you in generalities, right?
Yeah.
So we had the pride that ends up making that you saw on the series.
Yeah.
But we'd also filmed another pride.
Okay.
For about the first year of filming.
Yeah.
And it's because at the end of the day, you don't know which pride's going to produce the most interesting story.
Yeah.
Which again goes into the importance of research.
Yeah.
Because we knew who the characters were in the two prides.
Yeah.
And then we knew, okay, cool, we'll film both. But then after a few months, we kind of knew this one. Because they're giving us the term we use is behavior. So behavior is when they do something that we can film that can be part of the story.
Yeah. And just for context, the story that you went with is about, can you give context?
Yeah. So it's a young cub.
Okay.
It's a young male lion that which is actually unreal. You wouldn't be able to accurate. You know how I was saying with Safari Live, you couldn't tell the Akina Nat Geo, this is exactly what the story is. With male lions, it's very difficult to go, we're going to film or follow a male lion from when he's a cub to when he
he's
grows
an adult,
up.
yeah.
Because the thing about male lions is once they get to a certain age, they're kicked out of the pride, and then they have to go, what do they say?
Kujitegemea.
Exactly. Na kung'ang'ana. So it's like they have to get kicked out to go find their own territories, and which means sometimes they're walking and they leave and they go great distances. So being able to follow that story was we could have never predicted it, but it was a result of us being able to pivot, because the A story was we were going to follow the pride, the females and everything,
and it's filming, so from when they're cub to when they're adult, which takes about a few years.
Yeah, so almost 4 years.
4 years of filming.
With crews that cycle in and out, because we were a big team, like a big team, because there are 4 producers. And then all of us, so our title is producer director, which is very different from like drama. Like if you like the Hollywood films, you have a producer and you have a director. But in wildlife films, the producer is also the director, because you're doing the things in the office, the things in the edit, but then you're going into the field, to direct. And you're not, by directing, obviously you're not telling the lion action cut rudia. Not that, but it's kind of keeping track of the story. Like we filmed this behavior, we filmed that can cut together to tell a story. And then you're because we've got cinematographers that are cycling in and out, so we're able to tell them, this is the story so far, this is what we filmed, This is who we're focusing on. So that's directing.
Yeah. And how do you get, so if you have a crew that is rotating, how do you get the same shots? What I mean is the same quality of shots, because different videographers have different styles.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we had a director of photography, her name, legend in the industry, her name Sophie Darlington, and she had a style guide. So she basically outlined, this is how we're going to go about filming the lions, these kinds of shots, this is the feel we're going for, and it's a style guide that the cinematographers had. And so when they cycle in, they know this is how we're going to shoot this kind of thing, obviously with creative leeway, because we had some of the best wildlife cinematographers filming this, but the style guide at least helps keep it uniform.
Yeah, but for 4 years, most people see the film once it's out, they don't know what you guys go through.
Oh yeah.
For the 4 years, you have to keep calling. Can I survive?
I know, it's so stressful.
So when do you take
So
breaks?
stressful.
So like you film for like 3 months and then you stop for like a month,
Well,
or how do you do it?
So we would film from end of May, basically non-stop until March. We'd stop for the rains, because we were filming in the, I suppose I can say this, Masai Mara.
Masai Mara, yes.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, what am I allowed to say? What am I not allowed to say? So we're filming, and in the Mara during the wet season, the black cotton, and because we off-road to follow, we there's a special fee we pay for that privilege, which means if you off-road here and it's rained, that black cotton, it's it becomes,
it's terrible for
filming, and then
you get stuck a lot.
You get stuck, and then you just decide, you know what, this is not productive, because it's also really expensive. So again, going into that whole investment, figuring out the best times
to film.
So we would a crew would be out on location for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, and then between each shoot there'd be maybe a week at the most. It would be 2 weeks, like maybe over Christmas, but usually the time between the different shoots, just about a week. Then the next crew would come out, and a crew would be a cinematographer, a producer, or the director. If it wasn't a producer, we've got other people on the team that would go to direct, and then the film driver. So we had specialist film drivers who...
That's also another job.
Another amazing... It's not you just drive a car, you understand lights.
It's not what we are doing now.
And these, like we had Sami Monene, who's a legend in the industry. I mean, he's the OG, like some of the oldest BBC series you can think of. Sami was one of the drivers. We also had a young guy called Wycliffe Fodera, and also David Gidu. So it's guys who understand, the light's coming from here. You want to film the animal in the best possible light. So
because you're not using artificial light, you're using
no.
That's another thing with what you're doing with wildlife, filmmaking. You're using artificial light. I mean natural light.
Yeah.
So the driver has to know how to position the car for you to get the best. So he has to understand the world of filmmaking, not just driving.
Yeah, completely. And even animal behavior, because that's the other thing. It's kind of, I suppose 360, because you're driving, and then you also need to anticipate animal behavior. Like for example, if you're filming cheetahs, they're really tricky to film, because especially hunts. Number one, that animal moves. Like if you've never seen a cheetah hunt, we know cheetahs run fast, you know that. But until you've seen it live, you don't understand how fast this animal's running. So if you're filming it, the driver needs to know, or to at least have encountered cheetahs hunting, because the amount of ground that's covered, you need to anticipate.
Okay.
And sometimes you'll go even 500 meters down that way, to the point where you don't see the cheetah, but the driver has to be confident and trust that they're positioning the cinematographer in the best position. Sometimes, cheaters can change their mind, start running, and then suddenly they go off that way. But that's part of being a specialist film driver, is you're doing your best to position people.
Yeah.
Lions are a lot easier because they are just super chill, because they're at the top of the food chain. They don't get super stressed unless it's, of course, males fighting for territory. So if they're hunting, they'll stalk for a while. Sometimes they'll stalk for like a whole hour, and you're thinking this is going to be the most epic hunt. Leo, this is going to be everything. They'll stalk for an hour, then sleep, and you're going, come on, like we've got the best stalking shots. Come on, fam. But yeah, the specialist film driver knows. So the crews tend to be a lot smaller than people realize.
Thinkers, yeah.
Yeah.
And so once you've hold filming in March and you go back in May. So between March and May, is there someone who's following the animal?
Yes.
Or keeping track?
Yes. So we stayed at a particular camp, and when you're doing something like this long term, you create really good relationships. We had amazing spotters that were guides at the camp we were staying. So during a shoot, we'd have maybe 2 or 3 guides taking turns to be our spotter. And so when we're not there, they've got guests that they're guiding. And through the process, they also get to know the lions that we're following exactly. So from time to time, we would get updates. So there's a shoot in March where we'd wrapped up, packed everything up. And we actually usually left our equipment, which is a whole other thing we could talk about.
Yeah.
The equipment we use. So we'd left it, we've called it a day for the year, finished, that was good. And we came, I was based in the UK, which is also another thing we could talk about.
yeah.
So we came back, and then our spotters told us something had happened with one of our characters. So even though we'd called it a day for the year, we had to deploy almost immediately.
So you have to be on alert and okay, something could happen.
Yeah, because it was an important part of the story. So, so with the equipment, we use specialists, basically the same equipment Hollywood uses. But now a lot of it has been specialized and adapted for wildlife.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. You see, stuff like this is what makes it so exciting.
So interesting, yeah.
So it's been a lot of the lenses we use are cinematic lenses, which is you look at this lens. This is a stills lens. So it's an amazing lens for taking photos. I can also do videos with this, but there are some things that this lens would do that's not ideal for, like one of the things you've probably seen your lens do as well is that like lens breathing of you're focusing on something and then it's like hunting for focus sometimes.
Yeah.
A cinematic lens wouldn't do that unless you change the focus yourself. Because with wildlife films, everything needs to almost feel like it's your eye looking. So the moment a lens starts hunting for focus, that's a shot you can't use because it pulls someone out from the subject, this world you're building. Yeah. You want them to be like totally immersed, and anytime you see the camera is like doing some funny things, you go So we have to use the best equipment, which means a lot of it isn't available in Kenya. And the reason it isn't available, it's not like people can't afford it. The people doing hectic things in Kenya. It's just because the cost of it, again, the business side of stuff. If you own it, you need to be getting work that kind of pays for it, because you need to get that kit, if it's your lens or camera, serviced, and quite often that needs to go to the UK or the US to be serviced. So that's why people don't own that equipment. The cost just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're trying to change that. We're trying to say, hey, even us, we can
We can do it here.
we can do it.
Yeah. You went to film school. That's
I
where you
did.
learned
Yeah.
this level of filmmaking. I mean, there are tiers to it. This is God tier.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with the research bio. But I did because, like I said, from primary school, I was always talking about I'm gonna be a director. So that is what seemed obvious to me. Do the whole film school thing, go through, get your degree in. I just knew I loved it. I didn't know exactly what in the field I loved, which is one of the things I'd say it's because people ask me all the time, should I go to film school? And I'd say it's great if for networking, building good networks, but also for experimenting. It's a one time you get access to equipment and you can experiment in producing, directing, editing, and then you can find your groove. That being said, you can do all of these things without film school, because with things like YouTube, and you can learn a lot of technical things from YouTube. It's the networking aspect that you might need to put in a bit of an effort to. So going to festivals, any industry kind of like summit where people gather together to talk about stuff. And then with just the experimenting with producing, directing, editing, you can do that on your own personal projects. But the reality is, to go back to something you'd raised earlier, is a lot of these shows require a big team, and there's a reason for that. You can have someone who does. I've done a lot of things, like I can write, produce, edit, but quite often you're doing these things in a team setting. And I would say my experience in all these other things, like for Lion, for example, I mainly produced and wrote and directed. Now the editing, we've got like the best
Amazing
editors doing
editors,
this.
yeah.
But my experience as an editor, I mean, I would never put myself in their position, but it gives me the language to be able to tell an editor what I'm looking for.
What you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of the and this will also answer the question you asked before, what do filmmakers what could they know about this industry? When you're producing, one of the responsibilities you have is the story, like what that story is. And something I've seen in Kenya is it's almost like it's the editor's responsibility to figure out what the story is, which like blows my mind a little, because I was chatting to some editors and they were telling me sometimes they'll get a hard drive full of footage and someone's going, okay, yeah, I'll come see what you've cut in 2 weeks. Not saying what is the story, what are we doing? Yeah, so as a producer, when you're at this level of doing things like Lion, your job before you even get into the edit, because the schedule is mapped out. See, we were in this for almost 4 years, so the final year for me as a producer mostly is just working on the edit. So before we go into the edit, which is like a big thing, like all these years of filming, you're really looking for the day you go into the edit. So before that day comes, I as a producer have to go through all the footage and then do something that's called logging, which is basically in collaboration with the series producer who's across all the episodes. So for me, I'm going into the field, I'm directing things, I'm directing different shoots, but when it comes to the edit, I'm doing one episode. And I've chatted with the series producer. She's told me what she wants the story to be, and we're collaborating on how that could come to pass, right? So I did episode 2. So episode 2, I know the story needs to start over here. I've got a start and end point. So now I have to go through the footage. And with Lion, our character is a specific age at the beginning, specific age at the end. So it's like kazi kwangu to, thread that needle. So I go through everything, and then I do something called logging. So I basically outline the story in timelines. So if we've got the opening scene, which I think the way I logged it was in a folder called opening scene. So I've got timelines. The opening scene, what are the establishing shots? I pick the best shots I can find. And we've got long lens shots. So those are the really long lenses that we use. I'm also going through drone. We also had drone, lots of drone. Our drone cinematographer is a guy called Anthony Njugona, amazing guy.
Yeah.
Going through all that, we also had something called GSS, which is the big camera that's on a gimbal. So go through all that, and then I pick the best shots I think establish the scene. So I go like that, and then I've got my scene with, and each timeline's about ikienda sana maybe 45 minutes long. So I do that for all the sequences. So when the editor comes in, they see what my brain is thinking. And it's not prescriptive, it's not, for
use this
now do, I've given him options. I worked with an editor called Dave Pierce. So I've given him a wide range of options. And now, because he's an award-winning, like one of the best editors, he comes in with his brain, and then now he adds his, choosy mix, and so we're sat in that editor, me and him, edit room. We're sat there for about 5 months, 6 months.
Wow.
As in day out, he's the one I'm seeing the most. I'm the person he's seeing the most.
So even after, grouping it, it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
So you give him the pieces, and you still sit there when he's creating the puzzle.
Yeah. So I've got my station, and then he's got his station, and then we're using an amazing edit software. I don't know if you've used it, called Avid.
No.
So
I use Premiere Pro.
The difference between Avid and Premiere, basically like the same ish tools, but the wonderful thing for Avid, and they're not paying me to say this, but it's great for team. If you've got a project, like let's say one day, Brayo, you decide I'm going to do a whole series. If you get Avid, whatever the editor's cutting, they can, as soon as they save it, you can see it immediately on your machine. And that's how we work, because I'll do all the logging, he cuts, and then he'll send me the cut. I'll watch it and then go, okay, now like this one, can we change, can we and my background in editing is what gave me that ability to be able to communicate effectively, this is what I'm looking for, and also to understand the limitations of what can be cut and what can't be cut, which is an advantage. Not everyone gets that. So all that, to go back to my point, it's important to be able to understand at least what each role does.
Yeah.
So when you focus on one, and there's a great advantage to focusing on one, because you're able to ascend in that role.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you're a jack of many trades or a Jill of many trades, you find that you're not really specializing in the one thing.
Yeah.
And then, because what you want is people looking for you for that thing that you do really well.
Yeah.
Because then you're able to get a really good rate, because you're delivering something of a certain quality.
And you're known for that. It's easier to specialize in a specific skill.
Yeah.
And be known for that, even though you can do others.
Yeah. I think it just makes you a really good collaborator. Like with shooting as well. I mean, when I started out, I was filming. I would never put myself on the same level as the cinematographers that we have, but at least I'm able to go, so for this shot,
this is what you would want.
This is, and then with them, because this is what they've specialized in, they take my steers and my direction and just like elevate. But it creates that good sense of we can communicate using the same language, as opposed to going, now, let's say you're trying to give direction for a shot. Now I want, the camera to or like, can it do, and then it becomes frustrating for the cinematographer, because they're like, I don't know what you want. So if you're able to go, now, I want a reveal of yeah, this lion coming from behind the bush, they know, okay, this is how we'll position. And then you can say, so the reason of the reveal is this point in the story where this and this has happened, and then now they're coming out from, they're entering the scene. So we want them to be revealed. So then it becomes, okay, now we're moving towards a goal, as opposed to, just being vague.
Yeah. And now with all this knowledge in filmmaking, so we met a few weeks ago during the Wild Screen Festival, which you're the chair of the advisory board, right?
Of the festival,
The festival.
Yeah.
And you informed us that you're going to launch the Nuru Film Institute, which maybe tell us what you're going to be doing there. Are you going to teach us what you know?
Yeah, and even what I don't know. Well, the reason I've had this burden for Nuru is in doing what I'm doing, I'm still the only African producer that works on these shows. Which
by the way, you're the first Kenyan woman,
Kenyan
African
just
woman.
in general, woman producer to work on these premium shows.
Yeah, this natural
history
films. Yeah.
And it's been a few years now, and it's a kind of thing where we're almost in the third decade of the 21st century. This is an unacceptable statistic, because when you think about these animals, which countries are they filmed in? You know, Kenya is a hotspot for these films. I mean, Africa is a continent, right? But then for me to be the only African film producer, it's really not okay, because we need a good representation in this world. Because you look at climate change right now, and we need as many people telling these stories to bring them back to the people who live with these wildlife.
Yeah, and the stories are here.
Yeah, this is where people come to film. So the fact that, and the reason I'm saying that being the only African producer is an unacceptable statistic is because as a producer, you've got a creative control, you've got a voice in how the story is told. So if you're not having representative voices in the rooms where these stories are told, you find the stories aren't really being made for us. So in seeing that happen and seeing how the system's been set up, because the reason it is that way is the natural history industry was set up in the UK. That is just something, that's how it is, that's where the seeds were planted, it's where it's bloomed, and that's great. And a lot of their content actually, and this is something people don't know, is funded by the British public.
Yep.
So they have to pay this license fee, which, you know, some people complain about, but it means they're able to make all these series.
All my stories, yeah.
So in understanding that, you see the system's made for the British public, as it should be, because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
So in me seeing how the system is, I realized for us to change this statistic, I need to come back and establish something that's creating a talent pipeline. Because imagine this whole time I was like waiting, hey, what is the person that's going to come in and train? Because I thought it would be someone else, and then there was a moment where I realized
you're that person, you know.
It is me.
It's like when you see kids, let's say, fighting, I'm like, an adult, you should come and separate them. Like, oh, I'm the adult.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Because I was like, who is? Oh,
it's
Yanni,
you.
it's me. Yeah, because it's a huge responsibility, but I'm not doing this because I feel, by doing this, like magically we're going to get more producers. It's not even about that anymore. For me, it's about unlocking potential, because I know what's happened by me being in this world, and we've got so many stories to tell.
Yeah, and even
so many.
and talented people here that with the right guidance they would create the best of the best stories.
And then you think of, even if you're listening to like an average person telling stories, because we're storytellers as a people, it's always so exciting. You know, if you're sitting in a mat and you're overhearing a conversation and someone's going, yamka alafu, you know, it's always like so exciting. So I always think, now what will happen when that skill is transferred to being able to tell that same story, but now using cameras and whatever. So that's where Nuru came from. And then I've felt it's been like we're establishing this to bring a lot of light in a field that hasn't really had a lot of light for us. Because you know the beautiful thing about Nuru being the word Nuru,
light, for light, Swahili word for light.
Yeah, Swahili, but a very special light. Because I think that in Swahili we have the luxury of having different words for the same thing. For light. Mwangaza, ta.
Yeah.
But when you say Nuru, people immediately understand it's a very special, almost spiritual light.
I remember kuna Nuru Gizani. You remember?
Yes, exactly. Kuna Nuru Gizani, which it's that image of dispelling darkness.
Yeah. And you know how I know you like that word? I know there's a character, I think in Chuma, who's called Nuru.
Nuru? Oh, you even know Chuma.
I know Chuma.
Oh my goodness.
Either in Chuma or Pendo.
It's Pendo.
It's Pendo.
Yeah. Okay. I am so impressed that you even know like Chuma, Pendo. Yeah. But yes, absolutely. Because I've always loved that.
The word Nuru.
Nuru, and that's what it's going to bring, you know, for us. It's going to...
It's like the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And you know, the thing when it comes to conservation, when you're in this space, it can be really easy to feel like we're being taught how to do things by people from the global north, because you look at a lot of conservation efforts, and a lot of them do come in from you know, other countries, which is great. I think we need as many people just throwing their efforts into
and sharing
into this.
knowledge.
But there's something that's often overlooked, which is the indigenous knowledge, because the reason we still have these animals and these natural spaces, these wild spaces, is because our ancestors, there's something they did right.
Yeah.
Because all these animals used to be all over the world, but then there are very few places where you can still find them truly in the wild.
Yeah.
As in not behind fences or anything like that, truly in the wild. So there's something our ancestors did that was right. And I think with Nuru, we're going to be connecting people to something that's a part of them already. Because I feel there's been a disconnect between those older generations and us.
Will it be an online film school institute or offline hybrid?
It's going to be a physical training hub in the Masai Mara, because I love the Mara.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time there, and it's a special place. So it's a 5-month program that's going to be quite intensive, immersive, and I've modeled and structured it after what a typical shoot would be like, which is important, and I'll tell you why. Because when people come into this field from, let's say you are doing dramas or TVCs or whatever, and you decide you want to go into wildlife, getting into the rhythm and discipline of things is really tough for people. Because one of the things is just really early mornings. That thing of being able to
wake up on time consistently.
For, like I told you with Lion, you're on location for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, sometimes even longer. It's not you wake up at 5 a.m. or even 4:30 a.m. Sometimes the sun is rising a bit early. You don't do that for 4 or 5 days. You do that for every single day that you're on location, which is tricky. It's tough to do, and one of the best ways to kind of get people into that rhythm is to format a training program where you're doing that as part of the training, so it becomes your routine, understanding how to be consistent, which is another big thing, not just in the waking up, but in how you do what you do. How can you do it consistently without the quality dipping?
Yeah, so for 5 months, so the course will be 5 months from start to finish, and probably even by the end of it all, you'll have your own film.
So that will be the end goal. So every participant at the end of those 5 months, one of the deliverables, because they're going to have deliverables as you would if you have a client, you'll have your own film. So it's something they'll be working on for the entire 5 months that they are there. But in addition to that, they're also going to be doing other group projects and other things, and there'll be an in-house facilitator from beginning to end. But in addition to that, they'll also be paired up with mentors from the industry, like actual people who are filmmakers of some of the biggest series, wildlife series that we've had, which is such a massive value add. So these mentors will be checking in with them and also reviewing what they're filming, because that's an important part of the training, is you review what you're filming and get feedback, because something that you can always improve. The wonderful thing about doing this is if you film today and you haven't shot that lion properly and you review it and there's some things you did that were a bit like not ideal, once you reviewed it, you get feedback. Imagine you can go the next day and you can already improve. So it's not if you get it wrong, that's it. Because even the best cinematographers will tell you they're still improving, So it's going to be 5 months of really immersive hands-on, and then after that, the films will go on to film festivals where...
Oh, wow.
Because it's part of the ecosystem of doing this thing.
Yeah.
So film
we
festivals,
have to see what you've made.
You have to talk about what you've made, which is...
And why you made it.
Another tricky thing, because if you kind of go into the process and you're freestyling, I mean, that's all well and good. But then having to talk about it, you're finding words to capture what is it you're doing, why are you doing it, and you do it enough times and you start learning how to talk about it, which is great because it serves you well when you're pitching for more projects. And we're also trying to make sure that these films are seen on Kenyan TV.
TV, yes.
So trying to figure out what's the best way to do that generates income for everybody.
True. I know right now Netflix is the most popular streaming service here in Kenya. Showmax tried to Kenyanize streaming, but I think I don't know if they've left the Kenyan market. But we also need something like that, and I'm sure even with the reason I'm saying Netflix is because even with Kenyan movies they've given a chance to Kenyan movies. You'll find sometimes right now one of the trending movies is a South African movie, a TV show. So maybe if you do a really good job at the institute, then it can be streamed.
Oh, that's the goal. Because I know the quality that people can deliver is Netflix quality.
Yeah.
And I love these giraffes.
Okay, the giraffe. I'm gonna create a story here. What story can you create?
So this one is it male or female, Brian?
It's female.
It's female.
It's female. Huh?
So maybe that one on the other side that we can't just see.
Yeah.
Is a male.
So with the institute, when are you going to launch it?
So it's you mean the main program?
Yeah, the main program. When does it start?
The main program will start next August, September. Because we're busy. We're actually about to break ground in the construction of the campus.
Yeah.
But between now and then, we're doing a few storytelling boot camps. Yeah. So the storytelling boot camps are we're crunching the 5-month program down to a week.
Yeah.
Yes, and doing a few things that are useful that you can do in a week, but just to keep the training going.
Okay, so in a month's time?
In a month's time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yeah, actually the first one will be in September. So two months, right?
So you already have the
August.
first cohort of people that...
No, we're about to do the call for entry towards the end of July, beginning of August.
Aspiring filmmakers have to be Kenyan, right?
Yeah, for these storytelling bootcamps, yeah, because the logistics of non-Kenyans right now,
It's a bit more, yeah.
it's a lot, because you have to consider some where they would stay and transport and all of that, because we're trying to make the storytelling bootcamp subsidized, like heavily subsidized.
Yeah.
And if you bring in someone from outside, then you have to consider flights, which drives up the cost of what you need to subsidize.
And what qualifications should a filmmaker have to join?
For me, more than anything, it's passion. Okay, so there are people who are passionate about making a living, and I get it, you know, and they will do anything to hustle and which I think is important. But the reason I want to see someone's love for just the natural world is that's the potential will be unlocking, because if the engine's already going with that love, then we can upskill anything. But if now you have to teach someone to find value in that giraffe or this plant, or it becomes a whole different thing. And I think that there are places for that. But for the most part,
Passion
more than anything.
Okay.
And if it's someone coming in to do something like cinematography or editing, a basic understanding of this is a camera, this is how we film. Because if we have to now start training basics, then you don't get the full value of the program. So passion and just a entry-level understanding of the tools of the trade. So if we were filming this giraffe, because giraffes are difficult to film, because from the head to the neck, how would you go about framing it?
So it has to be a really wide shot, right? And I mean, unless you're filming a portrait, which doesn't make sense.
If you're doing a digital series, yeah.
Like a TikTok, Instagram story.
But your framing made sense, because speaking of behavior, right, they're eating. So you want to show the eating, which means people, if they see the neck and the mouth moving and chewing, that makes sense, they're eating. As opposed to now, if you frame it, you've added the mgongo and then you're cutting out the mouth, then it's not communicating a story. So how you framed it is...
Oh, thank you. That's a huge
perfect.
compliment coming from you.
So what you could do is just also frame slightly above the head, because it's going to lift the head up into frame.
Yeah.
But then you have to trust that's what would happen. So when they lower the head, you just hold that frame. You don't follow.
Yeah.
So you go a bit up.
Okay.
Up completely, and then he'll enter frame right now.
That's a good shot. Yeah.
Which can be a transition, like if you were busy filming another one, then you want to cut to this one. And then they dip out.
So they dip out.
They've left frame, so you can cut. And then if you've got a longer lens, you can get like a big close-up of the mouth moving, chewing.
Yeah, the eye maybe.
The eyes are really beautiful on the giraffes. They've got the super long lashes.
Yeah.
So you try to get as many shots that keep the shot interesting.
And this is coming from a filmmaker who won a Rising Star Award.
Yo, I'm just genuinely so impressed.
Yeah, Jackson Wild.
Hey, which is a crazy award to win, because you're being awarded on your potential. Someone is saying, oh, you're a rising star. So you go, hey, now I really have to do the thing.
People are watching.
People are watching.
And for context, Jackson Wild is like the Oscars of natural history.
Yeah, so they say that about Wild Screen as well. But I mean, the difference is Jackson Wild is based in the US. in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And then Bald Screen is a UK-based charity.
Wow. And you're a chair of one, and you've won an award of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
We're taking over. But here's the thing though, like I think that's why I'm excited about something like Nuru, because for me, being able to be in those spaces, you're able to achieve things like that. Because it's not like I'm super talented or super clever or more intelligent than other people. It's just I was given the opportunity. And
you took it.
And I took it. And I know more people, there are a lot of people who would do that. Given that support and people going, yeah, we support you, go for it. People would take the opportunity and run. Not everyone, I know. You know, some people
and that's why you're saying passion is important, because opportunity without passion won't really take you that far. It will seem like a job.
Yeah.
But with passion, you'll want to learn, you'll want to do the thing, you'd want to improve.
Yeah, you have to go. Like I would say the one thing that's kind of propped me up to be able to get awards like that is just going that extra step. And because there's a way you can show up and just do the bare minimum. And for the most part, people would be like, okay, whatever you were doing has been done. But I always make sure I'm doing something that my signature move becomes, they know I'm going to go above and beyond. And I'm not saying you like burn the candle at both ends and you're burnt out and all of that. No. Just whatever you do it to the best of your ability. And if you can add a little bit of special sauce so people know, like if you're on a production, like you're that, like one of the best compliments someone paid me is they told me, we were talking about a specific shoot I'd done, I directed, and they were being complimentary on what was delivered. And they said, you know, Faith, the one thing I love about you is you're a safe pair of hands. And I thought, I love that. I love knowing that someone can trust me with something and they know I'm going to deliver it and deliver it well.
That's a huge compliment.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Because I take, my name, or how my name is spoken of,
or attached to a project.
I take that so seriously. Because growing up, my dad would tell me, that's the one thing you have, it's your name. So whatever you do, make sure you do things that your name is associated with, positivity, and they know. Don't ever do anything to bring disrepute to your name, because it's so hard to build that back up.
Yeah. Or your folks in the filming business?
No. So they were, my dad was a pastor, and my mom is still a pastor. Well, they worked for this organization called the Campus Crusade for Christ. So my dad passed away, unfortunately, when I was second year. He was, he had diabetes my whole life. And then the thing about diabetes is it reaches a point where you sometimes start to have organ failure.
Yeah.
And when you have organ failure, it's just sometimes the beginning of the end. Because now, for him, it was his kidneys failed, so he needed a kidney transplant. And so it becomes so expensive with dialysis and whatever. But he actually passed away from complications after a kidney transplant.
You're from a religious background.
Yes.
And I know you've worked on a religious documentary, Sacred.
Oh, Sacred, yeah. Although that was interesting because that one, they acquired my footage it was a documentary about rituals around the world.
Yeah, filmmakers going around the world,
yeah,
documenting celebrations and religious aspects.
Yeah, so they acquired some of my footage, which was very exciting.
Yeah,
because when an international company reaches out and they go, hey, so at the time I was actually doing wedding videos.
Here in Kenya.
Yeah. Talking about, starting from
From huku chini.
From ground zero.
Wedding videos, wow. Yeah.
So they'd seen my stuff online because I used to film weddings and then cut a trailer, and that was my biggest marketing tool.
Oh, wow. On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. And I had like lots I've taken all those videos down now.
Oh, wow. You could share one though.
I could share one. Yeah.
Okay.
Happy to share that. But it was the reason I took it down is because I realized with my brand, I didn't want people to think, "Ooh, what's happening? It's so noisy."
That's so noisy. Are they warning someone? Something?
And then you see a leopard crossing the...
Yeah, because usually one thing I've learned with birds, they're very intentional. You might think they're just making noise, but they're communicating. Yeah.
And it's actually what I tell people in the bush is when you're out in the wild, because people ask, like, how do you know if whatever is hiding behind a bush waiting to pounce? And I'll usually tell them the bush will communicate because the birds will be making a sound or it will be deathly quiet. So either way, the ecosystem is always warning you, trying to keep you steps ahead. Yeah, so Sacred it's so exciting when someone reaches out and they go, yeah, we'd love to get some footage.
Yeah. So you're saying you are doing wedding stories, and then you took down your video. Where did you take down your videos?
Because of my brand.
Okay.
Because I didn't want people kind of wondering, and this one is doing weddings and they're doing wildlife. I wanted to focus. But I mean that doing that was some of my best memories of just in this field, because it was quite experimental at the time, and my signature, again, the whole thing of going above and beyond. I was known for doing something called cinematic wedding videos, which means the way it was filmed, it was like a movie.
Yeah. And so that's how the Sacred the team reached out to you.
Yeah, they saw one of my trailers and they licensed the footage. So I got paid for, and I'd already been paid by the client. Yeah. So it was...
So they used the wedding as part of that religious documentary.
Yeah. I think they were in that documentary. There's a section they talk about African weddings. So they featured that.
So it wasn't like a normal white wedding.
There were elements of it. It was actually wedding of a famous photographer in Kenya. His name's Ben Kiruthi, and I covered that. And they had some elements that there was a white wedding for sure, but they'd woven in these Afro fusion. I mean, it was beautiful.
Like a ratio mixed with a
ratio. There was, and even the actual wedding. Some of the outfits had like some African print. Yeah. So it was beautiful.
So before filming the wedding, you knew that you're filming also for this?
No, which was really cool, because it was like, you've done something, you've got as much money as you can from it, and then for someone else to come in and go, we're going to license your footage, and I don't even remember how much they were paying, but it was whatever they acquired. Like the money I got was, I think, probably 2 or 3 times what I'd been paid to do the wedding. Yeah.
So like, wow.
Winning.
Yeah. Hapa kuna kitu.
And that's actually, it's a viable industry even with wildlife. Is what I've been encouraging people to do, is with the future we're heading into, a lot of companies will be looking into licensing footage instead of paying for people to fly in from the UK, US, wherever. Yeah. If we've got people on the ground with the available kit that's at the level they want, and we've got access to these places, you can just go in and do the thing.
Wedding videography is something that really fascinates me. I have been to a few weddings as a guest, and I end up just catching myself looking at the videographers, the moments that they're catching, and sometimes I have friends that actually do that work. Yeah. And because the idea is you're trying to, this is the happiest moment of these two people.
Or it should be.
It should be, yes. I mean, in that moment it is, or they think it is.
The reason I'm saying it should be, some people are not focused on that. It's like, maua, it's the wrong shade of orange. And you're like, really?
Yeah. And then also the families as well.
Yeah.
And so it's this thing that has, this happy thing that has brought all these people here, and you want to capture that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds easy, but it's hard. But
it's such a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the reasons I stopped doing it is, even though I was making a good living, is the stress level is really high because of that pressure of there's this one day, and these people, like for example, the vows. You know, you can't go, stop, I'm not in the right position. Can you go back to Ebu Rudia? You know, you literally have to work with what you're having and film it cinematically. And then I mean, back in the day, I remember one of our challenges was people would have these, because it's when the big iPads came out, and people would be standing in the aisle because we're trying to get those frames. You know, you're at the back of the aisle, you've got the aisle Levy, and then the couple is framed in the middle, and then we'd have a long lens like this all the way at the back, and you've got that shot, and then someone stands up
with an iPad trying to take pictures,
and then because of how far you are, the iPad looks like it's blocking like the bride's head. So then you're going, you know, you can't shout in the middle of the vows, so you're having to adapt. Like I had assistants, and assistants would go and
tell them to lower you.
But it even got to a point where I'd have the MC announce. There's a team here that's covering it. Like we got this, because mtu anakazana with that iPad, and that footage will go nowhere.
Yeah, and they'll probably never watch it again. How many times do you go to a concert, you film videos on your phone,
and you don't
you don't go back and rewatch it?
Literally don't. You, if anything, a few weeks from now you go, what's this big file? Oh, it's this wedding, delete. And then you've ruined someone's wedding
day.
But it was that pressure, but at the same time there were some couples that were so focused on the important thing, which is they're making this lifelong commitment to each other, and the tone of that wedding would be so different. Yani, the joy and the celebration would be evident. And then there were some who were getting married for whatever reasons, and that there'd be people getting stressed out for things where you go, that's not really something, you know.
That should be stressing
you. It's never that serious. There's a wedding I did where the bride didn't get out of the car because she she had a wedding planner, right? And then she pulls up, and it's just before the walk down the aisle, so the pastors made the announcement, everybody simame kwa miguu, bibi harusi. And then she pulls up, and the roses were the wrong shade. I don't remember what they were supposed to be, but she saw them, and then she became hysterical.
Wow.
And all of us are like waiting. Everyone stood up. It was like a garden wedding, stunning. So now, you know, you wait, the music is playing, then the card is not opening, and then suddenly we realize something's wrong. So the groom had to go to the vehicle and basically coax her, and I don't know what he said, but he had to go. And you're thinking, in this moment, the first time he sees you should have been when you're out of the car coming down the aisle. But now he's had to leave his position, go to the car, calm you down, and then go back. And things like that.
Damn, I hope they're still together. But
I mean, last I heard of it,
no,
they're
signs. They're always signs.
Fighting. They're exactly. There are always signs. And there's one wedding, speaking of stress, where the absolute worst thing happened, which is my hard drive crashed.
Ooh.
And this was, now I will back everything up to 2 different drives. I mean, it's also a practice with wildlife and working on this level. There's never a time you're ingesting a card and it's going to one drive, always going to 2 simultaneously. You've got your A drive, B drive. But back then, that wasn't in my workflow. So, and my hard drive was a powered hard drive. So we've done the wedding, everything's been ingested. Busy editing. Hey, kidogo KPLC does its thing.
Oh, damn.
And it's a powered drive. And at the time I didn't have a UPS.
Yeah.
So the hard drive goes choop. So when the electricity comes back on, you power everything, and the hard drive's not mounting. It's not mounting. Where? And then I tried to kind of, and at the time, because I was much younger, also, you know, when you get scared, you don't communicate well, which is another thing I'd encourage people when you're in this industry. If something goes wrong, just say it immediately, because then as a team, you can rally together.
Yeah.
So that footage is now, the hard drive is not mounting, and the client, I waited too long to tell the client, which is something I really regretted.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm finding the courage to tell them is when they're expecting the DVD.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What?
And so obviously now they're really upset.
Yeah.
Actually really upset. Really upset. So, which you can't even blame them, because you're thinking, but then I told them I'm going to refund everything. And also what I recommended is, because there were it's one of those weddings where we had lots of people filming on iPads. So I suggested, could you reach out to your guests and find out who was filming? I'd go to them, get all the footage. And then what I also suggested is interviewing the guests, like the parents, the siblings, and then doing a documentary with like photos.
That's a nice way to recover.
Because they had a professional photographer as well. So I was like, I can't give you the
footage,
actual footage, but what I can is I can use what people filmed. It's not going to be on the level that I would have filmed, but it's not going to be horrible, and cut it together with really good music and interviews and also the actual stills photography. And what we could do is have you guys record you guys doing the vows again, and then lay it on the video. But of course they were so angry that they wouldn't hear of it.
Yeah, so they didn't do it.
They didn't do it, but I refunded them fully. But it was one of those things where you never forget that lesson. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah, and that's the thing with filmmaking. Before you get to a level where you're good at it, you'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
They will be there. I've been in that situation where you record, you don't have the audio.
Yeah.
And it's after shooting. And that communicating thing where you're like, now how do I say this? And when you say it's too late, you can't even redo it.
Yeah. Exactly that. Just you get ahead of it, and it's scary, but it really manages the storm really well.
Yeah.
Because yes, people will be upset and they'll be angry.
Yeah.
But then you kind of immediately get this mentality of we're in this together. We're pulling in the same direction.
Yeah. Another funny story, there's this podcast that I was doing. I had a guest, she's called Carol Kuyo. She's a filmmaker, content creator in Mombasa. She was in Nairobi and we did a podcast. And so you see these cables, these charging cables.
Yeah.
They have this thing here. Let me come in. Give me my. So you see this thing? It was here, and so it was blocking the shot. It came, and I didn't know.
No. The whole thing.
And so it did that in the middle shot. So this, but that was good, and this was good. And so with editing, there's no shot where we are together. It's just
like boop, boop.
Yeah.
The bish bash.
So since then, I learned all this. They're always at the bottom. Yeah.
But I think that's the beautiful thing is if you can take that lesson and use it to make you better, it makes a difference, because now you know you're never going to make that mistake again.
Yeah. And it will happen. Or maybe you the SD card, something happens to the SD card is not in the camera. And you missed a moment. It sucks, but it happens.
That's happened.
Do you have a checklist? Is it advisable to have a checklist? Yeah.
So I'd recommend, if you are filming anything and It could be your own personal thing or even professional. Have a checklist or a pre-flight checklist, as we call it. So, and it's always the critical things at the top of the list, not just like a random list. The most critical things, and then coming down. And the reason we have the most important things at the top is at least you know if you can make sure you've got these 4 things, and then some of the other things you don't have, you can still film, as opposed to having these important things at the bottom and then you don't get everything, and then the memory card is at the bottom and then you've forgotten that. So at least if you've got it in order of importance, battery charged, memory card, like that, lens, microphone, charging is the number one thing.
Yeah.
This is, I think, one of the beautiful things about having many cameras.
You can get different perspectives based on the side that you're in. Yeah.
Which is actually something we would deal. I learned about this doing weddings.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing something cinematically, you have to have like more than one camera.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you had guys who've never filmed before, you'd find, especially during vows, 2 guys trying to get the same shot, and you're going, hey, guys, let's think about what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that developed this thing within me where if there's more than one camera, I'll go, what could I get that's different than what you're getting? Yeah. And if the answer is nothing, then
there's no point of having both of them.
Then I chill out.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it, because when you have the same scene having different shots, also to the eye, it's more interesting instead of just seeing the same thing.
You get good coverage.
Yeah. And even with this podcast, I could have just the middle one that has the 2 of us, but I felt like having different perspectives, like one that focuses on you, this one that focuses on the 2 of us, and then this one on me, I can play around with, and then also having now this the animal, you know.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
You've got a great setup.
Yeah.
Really, really great.
Yeah. So still in wildlife, I know you've done Chasing the Rains, which is about trout in conservation. You've done Incredible Animal Journeys about migrating animals. Aside from wildlife stories, we spoke about Chuma.
Yes.
Which is a sci-fi film.
Afro-futuristic sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think there's huge potential for sci-fi in just Africa. We haven't even tapped the stories we can tell. When you mix it with our myths and everything, wow.
Tell us what it is about.
So I'll tell you what inspired it.
Yeah.
So my brain is always like thinking of a lot of things. But there's a place in Macha, the hill, it's called Chamwilu. And it's a place where the water flows uphill.
Yeah. I know the place.
Which some people say, oh, it's because there's mercury deep underground. Some people say, oh, it's an optical illusion.
Geographical optical illusion.
Yeah, which who knows. But anyway, I've been there, and to me, it looked like the water was flowing uphill. And then because my brain's like, I was thinking, I wonder if this could be because there's an alien portal. Because I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
So Nile, you just start thinking, I wonder what if that there's some supernatural activity happening. And so I've got this feature length film that I still want to do one day. But then I thought it can be difficult to get funding for something that for a genre that's not really like made in Africa, because when you pitch the idea of like Chuma, people might be like, what is Chuma, what not? So I decided, let me do a proof of concept. So Chuma is the name for this alien race that's infiltrated Kenya. So they look just like us, and the only way to tell who is Chuma and who is not is through these special binoculars you look through.
Na picha tunazozitazama ni picha za mlima Chamwilu, unafahamika kwa maji yanavyopanda mlima. Na inasemekana ndio hawa Wachuma walipitia mara ya kwanza kuingia nchini Kenya.
Inawezekana, lakini the matter is being investigated.
Na sasa inasemekana kuwa hawa Wachuma wameanza kujamiana na binadamu.
Fake news hiyo, haiwezekani. Unaona, Chuma by nature
ni nyati. Over.
Buda Wagwan, over.
Unaona kitu huko juu, over?
Azi kumetulia.
Hebu angalia poa.
Gari na kam saa 6.
Yetu hama.
Asioni poa, binoculars ina show.
Asimsomi poa.
Wacha karibia.
Niko macho. Over and out.
Niaje boss?
Salama sana. Safari ni ya wapi?
Jina ingine kikao hata nimesahau.
Si unajua kuna ile story ya Chuma. Lazima nikuscan.
Chapa kazi.
And then what happens in this particular short film that I did is now the Chuma have started reproducing with humans. And now we've got these hybrids that are being created. So it's a story that happens at a point in time in this Chuma's life where they're also being hunted down by the Kenyan government. So I'm curious too.
Where would I watch it?
I'll send you a link, and
Okay.
you can share the
link for people to
you
watch.
can share with the.
We want more Kenyan stories like that. I mean, it is sci-fi, but it has a Kenyan element in it.
And it was so much fun doing it because I wasn't trying to. It was for me. I self-funded this, by the way. It was one of those moments where I thought I want to do this, and I've got lots of friends who are filming and they're in this industry working at a really high level. So I called up my cinematographer friend, Soundi, makeup artist, actors, like professional actors in Kenya. And I was like, what's your rate? And they told me their rate, and I didn't even bargain. The only thing I asked them is if they can give me time to pay them. And they were like, yeah, of course. So paid them a little bit before we filmed it, and then eventually I paid them. And it, because I take pride in being able to pay people for doing the thing. It's how we build this industry.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Like it was for us, by us. And even because, like I mentioned, I dabble in editing. One of the things I knew that Chuma would have is visual effects. And of course, I'm not going to be able to afford an actual visual effects company. So I thought, And in film school, we didn't cover visual effects because that wasn't my focus. So I went and got footage from, I watched YouTube, and then I got those tutorials, and then did my own thing in the edit.
Wait, so you did the visual effects yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was, I really, really enjoyed that. So the idea is one day I'll make a feature film of Chuma.
Yeah. I mean, can I be in the movie? I don't want even to act. I can be, what's it called? An extra.
A background. Here's the thing. I have a memory like an elephant. So if you volunteer for things, don't be surprised when the call comes in. Hey, bro.
Yes, I'll be an extra. I'll be that guy who sells the newspapers in the film.
Or even if you really want an acting part, I'm happy to write something.
Oh, for real?
Hey, yeah.
Have you thought about acting yourself?
I know. Maybe
You prefer being...
No, see me acting.
We prefer being the cook.
I prefer being behind the lens because that's how my brain thinks. I think I'd be a very problematic actress because I'd be thinking too much about the process.
But there are actors or actresses that also direct their own film.
Yes, that produce them. Yeah. speaking of Queens, the female-led series, so I produced the 7th episode, which covered the process of how, like, the behind the scenes, how we made the series, who made it.
Yeah.
And one of the special things is they talked about the mentorship that happened, and I was one of the mentees. And by mentee it's not like we were interning, but we were just young filmmakers, and we were mentored by some of the older women in the industry in the spirit of Queens. So we were focused on female leadership. And so being one of the mentees meant I was one of the subjects of this episode, but I'm also the producer director of that episode. So when they offered it to me to make this episode, one of the first things I asked the series producer, Chloe, I was like, hey, so now can I remove myself as one of the storylines? And she's like, Anna, absolutely not. You have to, your story isn't
It's as important as everyone else.
So all that to say, I had to direct my own interviews, which is kind of like a mind trip.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but there's just something about seeing yourself in front of the camera.
True.
But I mean, you do this, you're so comfortable.
True. For me, I think that the thing that I haven't still overcome, which is a bit difficult, is talking to the camera, but in public. So let's say I'm vlogging and I'm saying, we are here, we're in Mombasa, in this restaurant, and so I'm, and everyone is just looking at you.
But the thing is, people are not looking at you. I mean, some might glance at you.
Yeah. But
I do understand that you're in your head.
Yes.
So you feel like all the eyes, everyone's like,
So when I start recording, the first few seconds I'll feel like that, and then I remind myself, oh, they don't care. And remember when phones became a thing?
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, late 90s here in Kenya. It was very embarrassing for you to pick a phone call in public.
Yeah.
You had to either go home and call back the person or hide. It would be weird. Why are you talking? And so I would remember that and like now you can talk anywhere. You can even now video calling in public.
Hey, that's such a mind trip.
Yeah.
I went to a concert, by the way. One of my favorite things about Lion, to bring it back to Lion, is one of our composers is the famous Hans Zimmer. And so, of course, big name.
I know him. He's done the Interstellar.
With him, I'll say this, I didn't meet him because you're working with his team around him.
Okay.
But I went to, as part of it, they were giving us tickets to concerts he was doing. And he was doing, he did a concert in London. And he's playing through all his music he's composed. Because he's done, Lion King, Pearl Harbor, Interstellar, of course, Inception, Gladiator, and of F1, which came out.
I liked the music in F1.
Yeah, so cool. And seeing it performed live, I'll send you the clip.
Wow.
The dude's just like jamming on stage. But now, during the concert, someone was on a video call, like streaming the thing. And I'm thinking, I would be so embarrassed, because even as I'm filming, because I filmed a little bit because I was thinking I'm going to put it on social media, which I put it on stories, but I should put it as like a post.
On the post, yeah.
But even that, I was kind of, I had my phone and I'm like, because I'm so like self-conscious. And this lady that was filming, her phone wasn't an iPad exactly, but it was big. And the whole concert she's like this, and you can see the face of the person like she's calling, and I'm going, what? When I grow up I want to have that confidence. You're like, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna feel nothing about it. One of my YouTube, I guess, inspirations, he's called Casey Neistat. He's an American. Of course, I know Casey.
So for him, how he did it was wearing sunglasses. That's why he wears sunglasses even indoors, because if he's looking directly at the lens, he's actually looking at the what's it called, the
The
live
LCD.
view.
Yeah.
So he's not looking at the lens, and so he's looking at himself. But then with the sunglasses, you won't see him. You won't see his pupils.
His eye line, going off like that.
Going off, and so that's how he gets comfortable, even in public. It's like hiding your eyes.
It's true, yeah.
Now, the biggest question that I get asked is why? Why do I always wear sunglasses? The first part of the answer is I just like the way glasses look. There's a really pragmatic reason. Okay, you know how when I'm talking to camera, like I'm talking to camera right now, I can always point at things like, hey, look at this screen right here, or check out these lights behind me, or check out this blue lunchbox right here, or this movie poster from the movie I produced right there, The Godfather, it's right here. I'm not looking into the lens, I'm looking into this screen right here. And that way I can frame things up, I know what I'm looking at. But when I do it with my glasses off, I don't look like I'm looking at you. I look over here. So like, imagine if in all my vlogs I'm looking like this. It starts to feel really weird. And I can look back here and then look over there, try to pretend to look over there.
What do you think of the Kenyan film industry?
I think it's, especially when we're talking about fiction, man, there was a gear the guys had hit maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know what's happened since then. And guys were making serious stuff, like really good content. Of course, I think there's a ceiling. And I think the many reasons for the ceiling. I think largely it's budget, where if you've got a finite amount of money, there's a ceiling to what you can achieve with that, because then you're trying to do quite a lot in one day. But guys were really making some beautiful stuff. There's room, I think, for growth for sure, especially when it comes to story development, where I think not enough time is being spent in script development. So, which is another thing, like the equivalent of pre-production, even though like the fiction guys also have pre-production, but script development is its own thing. And when you're doing, like for actual people who are making a good living from script writing, they will workshop their script because they're getting paid, right, to do it. But sadly here, as a writer, you don't really, I think because of budget limitations, you get paid to write the thing, but there's a limited amount of time you're given to write it. Or sometimes they pay you for having written, but built into the process isn't the development of the script, which involves having people read it, give you feedback. Back in the day when, because I write as well, I used to belong to this writers group. This is when I lived in the US. And the writers group is everybody would write a few pages, then you get together, and then let's say you've written something, a drama about someone that gets lost in NNP, like a horror film, which I think would be amazing to make. And let's say that's what you're developing. You write 3 or 4 pages, and then our writers group, we come together. Let's say there's 5 of us. So you would make copies of that script, or today you just have the digital copy, and then you would cast us as the roles you'd written, and then you as the writer would sit there and hear us read your work out loud. And let me tell you, that is one of the best ways of editing what you've written, because you immediately know, I don't like how that sounds. And then you're able to workshop the script. So you would bring it again the next time, or next time you bring new pages. So it's up to you what you're bringing. Do you want to keep working on the same scene, or do you want to keep hearing how different scenes are sounding? So that a proper script workshop would involve something like that. But here, because people are not getting paid and you have your bills to pay and whatnot, you just have this limited amount of time. So what's delivered, I think, are drafts that could go through the process a few more times.
So like, let's say for example, so last week I was in Savo, we're talking, and let's say I saw something that I think would give a really good story. So for example, I learned there's this hill, it's called Salaita Hill. The reason it's called Salaita Hill is from Slaughter Hill, because during the, I think, World War II, World War II or World War I, soldiers would go up there and kill each other. And so it has a cross. Even up to now, it has a cross because it marked like so many people died on that hill. And let's say, so I have that idea, but I'm not a writer. Could I maybe give like a 2-page synopsis of what I want and then maybe give a writer to write it for me? So that's how it works, I guess. So there are different aspects of that. There are people that will write the script fully, people will give ideas and own the idea and share with the...
Yeah, and in the really structured, the industries where these things are more kind of more regulated, structured, like in Hollywood and whatnot, you'd actually make a lot of money. They're producers who, because now in their world, that's partly what a producer is. One of the things a producer does is managing some of the story elements. So they're producers who make money from just selling ideas. Yeah, and you get paid, and then a writer comes in, and once you've gotten paid and they've bought the idea off of you, they can either take a general idea, or they can come up with their own thing, and then, or they use your idea as a launching pad.
Yeah, I have so many ideas.
I hope and I'm a writer, so
yeah, you know, yeah. I'll share some. What about Pendo? Tell me about Pendo.
Wow. Pendo was, again, I usually write when I'm trying to work something out. And something I don't talk about a lot. And I think it's because of the climate we live in. Like, I'm a woman of faith. Woman of faith.
Woman of faith.
And at the time I was wrestling something.
Yeah.
I had a question I was wrestling with to do. I was wrestling with God, and Pendo came out of that, and there was an opportunity to. Yeah, I mean, when I wrote it, it's funny how once you give yourself over to the question and you go, well, what are the different ways I could answer this question? Because now you're putting yourself in almost like God's head, which is kind of impossible to do, but you kind of go, what are the different answers you could go? I mean, that he could give, you go through the Bible. And then this crazy idea happens, and essentially Pendo is basically about this guy who holds this pastor hostage, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to shoot you and your God's going to save you. So there we go. So I won't give away what happens, but I had the amazing opportunity to work with these acting legends. One of them, unfortunately, has now passed on, Maina Olwenya. So he was in Nairobi Half-Life.
Yeah.
And I remember when I watched Nairobi Half-Life, I was like, he's so amazing. I even posted on Facebook, one day I'm going to work with this guy. Because I manifest a lot, say a lot of things. And then I got this opportunity to actually, when I'd written Pendo and I wanted him to play this part, I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So I sent him a message. I had his Facebook connect, you know how you connected to someone on Facebook?
Yeah.
And I sent him a message thinking the dude's like never gonna respond.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot your shot, right? And the dude responded and he's like, yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. And then again, that whole thing of being able to talk about your work. So I told him I'm doing this thing, and then he's like, yeah, I'm in. And I'm thinking, Ati, for real? And he's like, yeah, for real, I'm in.
Yeah.
So he came through, and the other actor, his name's Gilbert, another legend. So and they knew each other. We had one day of filming, and it was another thing I self-funded and shot it, and then it became this beautiful thing. It went on to win a few awards.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It won me Best Writer.
Wow.
And Best Short Film at the Zanzibar International Film Festival.
Yeah. Do you have a link? Maybe I can watch it.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a link to all these.
Okay, and I can share. People can watch it.
Happy for you to share.
Peace be unto you, my brother. How may I help you?
God yuko.
Yuko nasi. But he's also out there with everyone else. He is everywhere.
Nimetoka hosi, mtoi wangu anafanyiwa surgery. Na daktari amesema hana chance ya kusurvive. Alafu unaniambia God yuko huko.
The good news says, by his stripes we are...
Alafu kaa chini. Harakisha, sina time.
Please, usiniue. I will give you anything you want.
Basi niti yo God wako. Harakisha.
Father in heaven, who gives us life.
Unadu?
Calling on the Father.
Yani unadhani hii ni game na kupatia 10 seconds umuite.
Father in heaven.
10,
we
9,
adore you. What do you want, surely?
8.
Look here, my brother.
I'm not your brother. 7.
I'm always a firm believer in just do it. Just Nike this thing.
Yeah,
you want to do it?
Just do it. And you learn a lot from it. You will make mistakes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but the only way you learn is keep doing it. The more you do it, the more you get better at it.
Yeah.
Without even knowing.
And you know, that whole thing about making mistakes is so important because there are people who are held captive by this desire to be perfect in anything. This perfection. And I was having this conversation with my bro about something he's trying to do, and he was saying like the reason he can't quite get off the mark with this side venture he wants to do is because he if it's not perfect, he wants to go back and fix it and fix and fix and fix. And you just have to accept you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. The most important thing is momentum.
Yeah.
And you refine it. You refine. You make mistakes, you adapt. Will you die? Nope. Unless, of course, your mistake is a life and death thing.
Yeah.
Then yes,
but
you will die.
And with mistakes, and I have come to, I guess, appreciate mistakes or imperfect. Let me not call them mistakes. Let me call them imperfections. The reason is because right now with the rise of using AI and everything, you'll see people will gravitate towards things that they don't think they're AI. And the reason is because you don't want that perfect thing. You want something that feels human-made.
Yeah.
Because we are not perfect.
Speaking of AI, someone recently, and I'll share this with you as well.
Yeah.
There's a clip that someone sent me of a leopard hunting impala. An impala looks like that one.
Oh, yeah, that's an impala. It's a male impala. Yeah.
Yes. So you know that really cool thing where the leopard drops from a tree.
Yeah.
And they pounce on the impala.
Yeah.
And the reason they sent me this clip is because they were not sure if it's real or AI. But I mean, because you look at what AI is doing, and it's amazing. Where you can barely tell, right?
Yeah.
And so everything about it looked real. But then in me watching it, I was able to tell them, no, this is AI because the behavior depicted in the clip, because the leopard drops on the impala, which happens. That's nothing AI-ish about that. That's a behavior you see especially in Southern Africa and lots of bushy areas where the leopard will wait for impala to come under the tree and drop on it. But now on this clip, and this was the dead giveaway, the impala happens to get away and it's running, and then the leopard jumps on its back and then rides it like a jockey. But when you're watching it, it looks real. Because unaona imeshikilia. And the impala's running and I'm going, okay. So a leopard would never do this. I know it looks real, but it would never do this. And then when it's suffocating the animal, it's like suffocating apa. It's like biting
the
like
neck.
the side of the. And I was like, if you see a leopard, it's quite efficient. It would be on the throat. It wouldn't be
on the side,
gripping for dear life. Apa. Yeah.
And then also, I think I have this unpopular opinion. I think game drives will become more and more premium because if right now with the circulation of AI, they're saying 4 out of 6, if it's 10 videos, 4 of them are AI. Some are even saying 6 out of 10 videos are AI. And So what will happen is we'll have kids that are not sure of animal behavior because they've seen a dog talk,
And that's
they've
the
seen
thing.
a lion,
Yeah.
a leopard hump on or ride an impala.
Or a giraffe picks someone from a safari. That's another one someone sent me. Is a giraffe is walking up to the car and then it picks someone and runs off. And it looks real. But that's something a giraffe would never do. But we know that. But again, I agree with you. Safaris will become premium.
Yeah, because then I can confirm genuinely this is not animal behavior, especially if I want to, I guess, learn more about wildlife or I want to discover more about a specific species of animal.
Yeah. And you know, that's what I was telling people when they're asking what's wrong with AI making wildlife. I mean, on the one hand, it gives access to people who don't have access to the expensive kit that like wildlife filmmakers use, because then you can come up with your own thing. But then there are two major things wrong with AI is that whole thing of putting out the wrong behavior into the anthology, because soon and it's not that far off even now, people cannot tell what's
the
real,
difference,
the difference, which is to your point why people will start going into the wild to confirm what's behavior and what's not. And the second thing is just AI is the toll it takes on the environment, which people don't talk about. These data farms, you know, they're drying out. AI uses so much water. The data farms use a lot of water to just keep things running.
And energy power.
And energy, because a lot of it and you see that's really detrimental in areas where they have these big data farms. They've got water loss and a lot of things that are quite, you see the environmental degradation.
Right now as a filmmaker, do you use it and how do you use it?
So for me, AI is more of an automation tool. Like it helps me with just scheduling things.
Like an assistant.
Like an assistant, 100%, because I need it. And I think the older you get, like me, Maliniko, I literally, if we agree on something, it goes into my calendar immediately. But even AI helps me plan if I'm planning something. Like for example, I want to do, like in Nuru, let's talk about Nuru. In setting up an institute, there are certain steps you need to take, because I've got land in Narok, near one of the conservancies, and to go from owning land to building something on it, there's so many steps that go into it. And I'm a filmmaker, learning about all the surveys that go into just building, you know,
even the type of soil that you build on.
Exactly, and you find that out through the survey. Maybe I thought you take some soil sample, you take it to some organization, but you literally have professionals that come out and do the topographical survey. They do the geotechnical, now to examine rocks, and then of course you've got the borehole. I'm forgetting the actual name for the people going to come and drill. Because we'll need water. So there's so much that goes into that, and I don't know any of that. So AI has been super useful in bringing me up to speed. Like with the architect I'm dealing with, if he says, oh, we need to do this, this and that, even though he'll explain it to me, the way my brain works is I want to have an in-depth understanding. So I'll just go to AI and say, can you break down the process of, my prompts sometimes are not the best. Like what goes into a geotechnical survey, and then it will explain it to me. And so now I'm kind of up to speed. So when we're having these conversations with the surveyor, I'm not hanging, and I can also be useful in a conversation. So that's how I use AI, and even bits of research here and there. But the generative AI now, the AI that's coming up with like the videos, the storylines, things like that, I don't enjoy using that, and I don't enjoy it when people do.
What are your other upcoming projects that you have that you're working on that you can share?
Besides and the 8 things. So besides Nuru, I do have a personal series on Instagram. It's called Making of a Producer. Which
I think I've seen some of the videos.
You have. So it's me unpacking the journey I've walked to become a producer, because I find there are lessons. Because a lot of people ask me, how did you produce? How did you become a Nat Geo producer? And then I have to explain, I'm actually not a Nat Geo producer. I work for companies that have done series for Nat Geo.
You're a freelance producer.
So, like for Lion, for example, I worked for the BBC, and then the BBC were the ones that were given the commission by Nat Geo. So Nat Geo hires people as yani to work in their offices, but when it comes to making series and whatever, they commission. They just pay a company to
do that. Okay.
To do that, yeah. Or same as with photography, they'll commission a photographer who's pitched something.
It's like an agency.
They
essentially that is hired by a company to do specific tasks without being employed by the company.
Exactly. So except they're a production company. So me, in my own capacity as Faith, even though I've done series for them, I can't go to Nat Geo and go, hey, I've got an idea, can you fund me? Actually, Nat Geo's in this might be useful, is you can see it as 2 different things. There's the Nat Geo partners side, which is like a lot of the stuff that goes on Disney Plus, like the commercial stuff. So I can't go to Nat Geo partners and go, I've got an idea, because the way their business is set up, they would commission an actual production company that's got a track record of delivering. So they would commission BBC, they'd commission companies like that. But now the other side of Nat Geo is called Nat Geo Society. So if you've ever heard of like Nat Geo Explorers, Nat Geo Magazine, all that falls under that side. So with the Explorers, they tend to have like grants. So you can pitch them and say, I've got an idea. Okay. But the grants are not going to be on the level of the partners, because the commissions, that's like big budget stuff. And the grants are smaller budgets, but they give to a lot of people to make stuff.
Yeah.
I like to describe myself as a storyteller. And for the past 8 years, that story has been about the natural world. My job has ups and downs like any other job, but it's also not quite like any other job. So, unsurprisingly, the question I often get asked is, how in the world did I land this job?
If, let's say, you're already making small films, maybe on YouTube, what would be the best way to go about maybe getting funding? Or would it be you keep doing it, or maybe sharing it in a specific way, or how would you go about it if you have to start again?
Yeah, so it depends. If you're doing wildlife content, this is one of the useful things of AI. You could go into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever people use, and then you could ask them, can you just give me a list of grants for whatever field it is, if it's wildlife, for wildlife films, because there's so many. We was just speaking of National Geographic with the Explorer grants. Those, lots available. So it's like you've got or you could just go into Google and summarize, and then just apply, and then not to see it as the end of things if you apply to stuff and you don't get it. Some people are very lucky, they'll apply straight away, get a grant, which is great. Some people have to try and try and try and try. The most important thing is to just do this thing, to just do it. And quite often I'll hear people say, I want to get into vlogging, but I don't have this, I don't have the action camera, I don't have a GoPro, I don't have a GH5, I don't have whatever. But I usually tell people, just start with what you have, where you're at.
Yeah,
you
do have you probably have a smartphone.
Everyone
that
has one
really
of these.
Good, yeah, that has a really good camera.
And you know, if you can film and develop that discipline with this, when someone finally gives you a camera, then I'm telling you, your work is stratospheric because you've already got the discipline of the camera. You know how to work it. And there's a famous saying, I don't know if it's famous, maybe famous for me, only a poor workman or workwoman blames his or her tools. So when someone's always making an excuse, oh, I can't do this because I don't have that, or you film something, it didn't come out really well, and then you're going, it's because of the camera I was using. That's on you, man. You know, that's not on your tools. So I always say, if you can do whatever you want to do, just start with what you have, and then the momentum will catch you on the move. But momentum now, if it finds you standing still, it will pass you by. It often does. But if you're already moving, then that momentum finds you and it carries you with it. Yeah. So there's that. Like, for example, my making of a producer series, I'm not funded to do that. I have to find the time to edit it. But that's something I felt it's important to me to share the journey, and it helps me practice my storytelling skills, which is something I'd also recommend to people. Just do stuff that helps you hone your skill, hone it. Don't wait until you get the job to become a good storyteller. Be working on that skill right now. And so that's one of the projects I'm working on. There's another potential project in Mount Kenya, which will be exciting because I've never really done any project on any of our mountains. So
what's
I'm excited about that. So that I can't.
Oh, you can't tell me. Okay. Oh, you'll tell me off camera.
Yeah, but just think of how beautiful that mountain is.
Yes. I have hiked Mount Kenya once and I loved it. I mean, I would want to do it again. You should.
What tips can you give me?
Tips before you do it. Do smaller mountains first. Do like Mount Longonot, do Gong Hills, the Aberdare, one of the Aberdare ranges. That will give you a good base on, because I think what makes people who do it the first time maybe not get to the top is the yearning to get to the top without realizing that it's the fun of it is actually just doing it. It's the hike. You know, so we did it
like enjoying
the and you know, you'll see a lake there, take a moment, see the lake, you know, just enjoying the hike. What else about Mount Kenya? It can get very cold. I remember the last night Sarukan Summit, we were, I don't remember the last camp, almost at the very top. So we had to wake up at 3:30, 4 a.m. and then hike another 2-3 hours to get to the top. Hopefully by sunrise, you can catch sunrise at the top. And it's very worth it, but it was so cold that I remember I couldn't sleep. So you just get like short, you know, naps.
Oh yeah. And do people bring like not sleeping bags, hot water bottles?
You have a porter, depending on the company that you go with, because you definitely need to eat. And they'll prepare.
And they carry all your stuff.
Yeah.
Do you carry anything?
You carry your day bag, which has water mostly, your raincoat, sunglasses, hat.
So nothing super heavy. Like the tent.
No. Unless you want to do that yourself. But we have really amazing porters that do the mountain very well. They carry your equipment, they carry your tent, the food that you're going to eat. So, which makes it way more easier.
Wow. Yeah. So with us, we'll have our filming equipment. So that's gonna be interesting.
You'll need like a group of potters, and I'd want a filmmaker to do a story on the potters. I've seen a story on the potters on Mount Everest, but the potters in Mount Kenya have really amazing stories. That would be a really, really nice documentary to shoot.
That may or may not be part of the
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, some of my friends are huge mountaineers, that kind of thing, and anytime we get together and they're talking about hiking Mount Kenya, the stories they'll share about the potters, just amazing. And you're like, that resilience of just being able to do this very difficult thing, carrying so much weight. And I don't think the field here or the industry for them is as regulated as it is in other countries. Like if you go to Nepal, where it's quite regulated what you pay people and how much they can carry. So hopefully this is even better.
Yeah. Male and a female ostrich. The potters on Mount Kenya, they have an association, but they are local, which I really like. They are local people that have been born there, so even their bodies are really, they've adapted to that environment. So one can even hike till the top like same day and come down. During rescue missions, when we have emergencies of the mountain, together with the KWS rangers, the community will really help with like rescue operations. Like,
and they just
and then rescue operations are even riskier because let's say someone has died on the mountain, so retrieving the body and carrying it down, a body is super heavy.
See, there was that story that recently happened, I think, in Mount Kenya, where someone had to go be retrieved.
Yep.
And
so it's risky because you're also putting yourself at risk as a potter.
Speaking of stories, I'd love to see more stories of the interventions that the KWS does, because I think one of the things that people, unless you've got the privilege of working in this field like some of us do, you don't understand what really goes into protecting these animals. It feels like, again, people are just, they think it's just people showing up and going, okay, now we're protecting them. There's actually boots on the ground, huge effort. And I've just seen some of the most beautiful medical interventions actually for animals. When an animal is injured, the vets come in. And something that people don't know is, as a country, all these animals belong to us. It's literally what's in the Constitution. So you look at that ostrich, you're near to. But now it's being managed by KWS.
And the ostrich doesn't know that ranger is trying to help it. So you'll find a situation whereby we'll have rangers that will be attacked by animals. Like a buffalo will itakudunga, and then it will spear you with its horn and spear through your body, and you're just stuck there
and
as
there's
a
nothing
ranger.
you can
And
do.
you can do. The people who die in the line of duty. A rhino as well is very dangerous to meet. A hippo is dangerous, or even a snake. Being bit by a cobra.
Snake bite, because they have to do patrols.
Foot patrols, or even being eaten by a lion. You're probably in your house or something, and then you walk out at night, or there could be any situation can be dangerous. Or there's a fire in the park and you're trying to put it out, and then one mistake leads to maybe
another.
And those stories needs to be told.
They do, because they're stories of just sacrifice and courage and just the reality. Because one of the things I've really come to love about Kenya ni how it's truly wild. I've literally had people ask me, so when you're home, do you really see giraffes walking around? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there are places you can go, there are national parks, but even there's some places where giraffes occur right next to humans, and they're like, okay, no. But now I'm talking about places without fences, and I'm like, I mean, we don't have fences. These animals are, and it blows their mind that these animals are truly in the wild.
The wild, yeah.
And to say nothing of lions, leopards, everything. And because in so many places there are fences, you've got private game reserves, you've got all these places where the animals have been caged in for their own protection and for the protection of humans, which I understand. But on the flip side, the behavior, it really affects the wild behavior. So for me, I love the fact that in Kenya we have true wilderness areas where that animal is acting as it would in the wild because it is in the wild.
Have you worked on a comedy movie?
No, but I'd love to.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to.
I think it's very different from there's funny in like a stand-up comedy funny, but then there's a funny in film, which is you don't want the actor to break when they're giving the joke, or there's a way you tell it. There's so much going into comedy. How you tell the joke.
Comedy is complex, yeah. Especially like getting someone that hits that, because it's all about tone and delivery and everything. It's tough. But actually I have done a comedy, but this was way back, as in like film school way back.
Okay.
I'll share that with you as well. But because I do like the super random comedy.
Okay.
And this was random.
Yeah. Let's go back to Edge of Darkness. Working on that set. The director, Martin Campbell.
Yeah.
He worked on 2 James Bond movies.
Casino Royale
and GoldenEye. And 2 different Bonds. Daniel Craig and Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
As a production intern, like, what was your role?
So you basically get everyone's lunch.
Okay.
You make photocopies of the scripts. So every day things are changing, which is something that was quite a revelation to me, because there's you've got your pages that you're filming that day, which everybody knows. They refer to them as pages. You're not showing up to go, wacha tuone mali tutafika. There's a time attached to there's a way they break down the script, and there's a time attached to each part of the script.
Okay.
So you can't just show up and go, let's just go through the script on Nemali Tafika. So and sometimes the writing changes. And so a script will have different colored pages depending on the first set of changes. Now I can't remember, because it used to go like pink, yellow, green, nini. So in the morning, one of the first things you find out is if the writer has changed anything, because now those pages need to be printed out ASAP, and you make sure you've got enough copies that are delivered to everyone. And then you're printing out the whole script, and then the pages that have changed are the ones with the different colors. Back then, that's, now that I'm thinking back to it, that's a lot of wastage. But so that's one of the things you do. The second thing, and everything is of equal importance, so you have to really like juggle your time. So mkifika, you find out where you're eating from for the day. So these are big budget films, and it's a restaurant this was shot in Boston, so it's a restaurant in the city. So you photocopy the menu, and then you look for the latest one, and you have to make sure it's the latest one, because sometimes online they have
the old
old, or it's the wrong one. So you have to, and these things are treated like a matter of life and death.
Yeah, because they're working so hard, and you do.
So your food has to. So, and then with the editor on that film, because typically you don't have an editor while you're filming, but on this location, the editor, his name was Stuart Baird, Baird. So he's like a legendary editor. So he ate from the same place. You would not include him in everyone else's orders. He had steak and potatoes. So alikuwa naletewa. And everyone else would be photocopy.
Yeah.
Everyone on the team circles what they want. When you get on the phone call, you call the restaurant. This one wants this, make sure there isn't that. This one might, so you order everything, and then you tell them the time you'll go pick it up. And then when the time comes, you get in the car, you go, you pick it up. So you run errands.
Yeah. So and that's something that I was watching another director who was saying that the best directors are directors who've done everything. So they started as interns like that, because then when you get to the top, you understand everyone's role and how to make their role work for them. So if, let's say, someone is really good at, detail oriented, it is easier for them to do those small things, especially when they're younger.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And it trains, because even there was a kitchen, because you've also got craft services where it's a place with snacks, but then there's also a kitchen for people who want to go in. People are very particular about how they make their coffee. There's a microwave so you have to do things like you have to clean up after people. Someone might drink whatever, eat, they leave it in the sink. You have to go and make sure all the dishes are washed. So I think doing all those things also creates a bit of a good work ethic, where you don't feel like you're above a certain task. Because you even have to go, even though there were people cleaning the loos and everything, you have to just go in and make sure everything is okay.
Is okay.
Yeah. So everything is I think it develops you. I like what that guy said. It really does make you really well rounded.
Yeah. And understand everyone's role.
Yeah.
So you don't have to look down on someone's role because you've done it and you can do it.
You've done it.
Yeah.
And it also teaches you how to be resourceful.
Yeah.
Which serves me well to this day. Because there's someone who I can't even remember who it was, loved, but they were in a senior position. They loved a particular cookie, and they were not on set every day, but they would fly in from LA, and when they came in, they liked a particular cookie from a particular company, which means and then they want it warm. So you're like calling the cookie company going, what time are your cookies coming out of the oven? And then you're timing it with you find out what time they're landing, what time they'll be in the office.
Wow.
And you're going, will I be able to
make it?
Make it if I, because it makes you really resourceful. Like, should I send a friend which I ended up doing that a few times, because I was like, there's no way I can go pick up the lunch, because you're picking up like between 20 to 40 orders of food. There's no way I can pick that up and go and get the cookie. So you're like, how? So you come up with things, and no one will ever know what you went into to get that.
Yeah.
Because I was interning in the production office, which means what's that?
There's a fire. But I think it's intentional because it's close to the gate.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can see there's Ranger's van there.
Oh, yeah. So
then there's a guy there.
They really all those challenges and obstacles, because you can't go and then you come back and you go, and then I went to no. But what people remember is when we needed something, Faith was able to get it, and no one knows, like, you're sweating, you're doing all those things. So so that was interning in the production office. When you intern on the actual set, that's a whole different thing, because then you're running on set. They've also got craft services, but then they've also got a caterer, so at least you don't have to stress about picking up their food. But you also have to understand how certain people are treated. Not everyone eats together. People are very different. So how do you deal with difficult talent? Let me say the word difficult. Well, the good thing as an intern, you're at the lowest. So most of the time you're not even dealing directly with them. But the quickest way to get on someone's bad side was because you're literally the errand. There's another word they use which I won't use yet. But you're basically like the errand person. Yes. So the quickest way to win favor is, no matter what they ask of you, just go get it. Unless, of course, It's something that's crossing a boundary.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would have bad run-ins with talent when talent goes, I want an iced coffee that's been brewed kwanza, that's very hot, and then it's been cooled down. They give you specific instructions where you go, but you said iced coffee, so how can it be hot? And then someone asks you something, you just deliver.
You just write it down and then go
and you go get it. Or they can ask you for something that's on the other side of town. Figure out a way. Don't complain and go, oh, but I have to go get the... Just do it. And most of the time, luckily, they've got assistants. By the time you're dealing directly with them, something has... The wheels have come off the bus.
Yeah.
But with other most of the time, you're dealing with difficult people who are... You're having more of like crew members, like maybe directors, which wasn't the case on Edge of Darkness, where sometimes when you hear of abusive sets, it's people in positions of power taking advantage of interns. But luckily, because of the university I was coming from, that's quite respected, they already assume that you're on a certain level, so they have to conduct themselves accordingly.
Yeah.
Out of the vehicle.
You just rear-ended an unmarked cruiser, and I made an observation that you're armed.
We smoke glass in our coats?
Yeah, I'm funny that way.
As a director, if let's say you have a talent, how do you make them? Because I know of directors who like, my script is my script. Don't change it. Don't try and improvise.
Yeah.
But there's some who will give you the leeway of
improvising.
Maybe change it a bit. And there are some actors that I know or have heard that will want to change a specific scene. So how, as a director, how do you go about that?
Yeah, my first gear, I'm really collaborative because I think I see it as a collaboration. Yes, it's my vision. Yes, I've written it. Like with Chuma, we would, before we even went on location, we had a table read where we sit around the table and read through the whole script. This is after it's been workshopped. And then, like the actors would give me feedback. Like, this doesn't feel natural to say, can I say this? And for me, it's not about, you have to say it how I've written it. Because I think editing is also another form of writing, which I knew, however we film it, I want to make sure I have my mark in the edit. Like, I'm not too hung up on the actual words. But that's just me. I know there are some other directors and writers, especially writer-directors, who go, this is what I've written, you're going to say exactly
how I say how it's written.
For one of my guiding principles, and this is true for like fiction and wildlife, I usually ask myself, is this the hill I'm going to die on? Because you have to work with a lot of people, and there's some things you can be so attached to, and then Najuliza, is this truly the hill I'm going to die on? Meaning, is this something I feel really strongly about? If it is, then I'll push back and go, actually, can we keep it the way it is? If I've got strong enough reasons. But if it's something that's becomes better through collaboration, why not, Because it's you want it to feel collaborative, and you find when you've got that kind of atmosphere and environment where someone feels like they're contributing, you're even getting even more special stuff from them.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone feels like, I have to say this, siezi kosea, you might get some really good stuff out of people, but most of the time, some people get really anxious, and then you have to work through those nerves before you get to the good stuff. So me, I'd rather just come together, let's put our heads together and let's create this thing.
Yeah. Can you recommend some films that people should watch or can watch
in
that
general,
are not well known? Yeah, in general, that are probably not well known.
Oh my goodness, what a great question. That are probably not well known.
Or mainstream.
I mean, there's one called Little Manhattan. It's a bit of an old film.
Yeah.
But I really, really love it. Little Manhattan, Legends of the Fall, but I feel like people know that. If people haven't seen Shawshank Redemption,
that's a good
absolutely
film.
Have to see it.
Yeah.
Slumdog Millionaire.
That's also a really good film.
Yeah. Really well put together, a triumph in using all the elements available to you in storytelling, like music, performances, writing, editing, to tell a cohesive story. With wildlife films, I would say there's a BBC series called Africa 1, a Nat Geo series called Underdogs, which just came out actually. Queens, definitely recommend Queens.
Your Queens.
My Queens. There's also, and obviously Lion when it comes out, but there's also another old BBC series called Planet Earth 2, which some people will recognize some sequences from it. But those series I've recommended are just
Really
excellent
good.
storytelling.
I'd recommend Chimp Empire. Have you watched it?
Yes, Chimp Empire, of course.
Really good on Netflix. I like how they were shooting very close to the chimps. It felt like they were it's like they were actors.
See, but I mean, and that was their ambition, to kind of characterize these chimps as, they even give them names. And some of my friends worked on that.
They did a really good job. I think it was the first time I saw an wildlife documentary series that felt like the animals knew they were being filmed. Like it's like they knew, and they didn't know, obviously, because they didn't care. But I remember even watching the behind the scenes. As long as you follow the rules, don't look at it,
They're
directly.
so intelligent. So there's in Queens, we filmed the bonobos, which are basically like the chimps.
The chimps,
but
they're the closest to humans.
So I mean, I think the same DNA percentage as the chimps, 99.98 or something. Or 99.8. But those series are really tough to film. Like, because there's the number one, you're working in a forest.
Yes. Lights
is a challenge. You have to trek with your kids. It's not like you can get in a car and the car takes you. So you have to walk looking for those troops. And another is a danger element.
They could just break you in minutes.
They could break you in minutes, and all the other animals that are hiding, just like I don't know about too much about the actual processing of Chimp Empire, but in Queens they were filming in the DRC, so in the Congo rainforest, and they're climbing up on platforms, and they're rigging them, and then they're sleeping in hammocks because they're following this troop. And anyone that does any series on chimps, bonobos, orangutans, even gorillas, you just go respect. Because it's what I call a hardship shoot. Because you're just setting up camp, not like Lion where you're sleeping in a nice bed, you've got a chef making your food for you, you've got a running shower. No, those are
and that animal can just swing tree,
come to you, grab you by your and go, where are you filming?
A director in animation film, is it different from directing like a normal film? How different is it?
Because they have to work really closely with the visual artists, and they have to know everything they're doing. Because with normal films you can always adapt to a certain extent, although you need to have planned out and storyboarded everything. You can always pivot. But with animation, because of animating the sequences and everything, you really have to know what you're doing, which means there's a lot of time developing stuff, working closely with artists. So it's quite intensive, labor intensive. And then you're locked into a path. Unless you switch, which costs money. Coming back to the whole business aspect of stuff.
Lion is coming out on when? Which day?
So it's coming out later this year. We don't have a date quite yet. From Nat Geo, but it's going to be on Disney Plus. I am going to fight as hard as I can to get it on Kenyan airwaves. Which I've done with the series I've worked on before. It's never easy. But the bigger picture plan is to make sure that all these series that are filmed in Kenya also have a life on our airwaves.
That is what I wanted to ask you. How can Kenyans watch it? I highly recommend it. I loved the first 2 episodes. I wish I watched more of it.
Yes.
But I'll get to watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think you guys are doing a really amazing job.
I thank you, and we want more people to do stuff like this, man. Even better stuff than this. That's my dream. Through Nuru and everything else is just for people to feel so unlocked that they start doing things and telling these stories in ways they've never been told before.
Yeah. Alright. That's it for the drive.
It flew by.
Flew by. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I really did. What a great I appreciate the depth of your research, because let me tell you, you've got on a deep dive. If you're talking about Edge of Darkness and Pendo, that's something very few people
know about.
Unless of course they've been with me the whole time. But I really appreciate the time.
No, you're inspiration to
this.
us filmmakers who we create in our own way, and I get, like, I see your path because I can see it's achievable.
Oh yeah.
And I know many filmmakers in Kenya who would want to get there. And you've created that, path for us, and I can't wait to see what Nuru does. And I'll obviously come to Nuru and see what you guys are doing. Probably even do a story on it.
That's a standing invitation. Come through, do a podcast out there. We can do 2.0.
Yeah.
On this one.
Yeah, in Mara. Yeah, with Nuru.
Yeah. But thank you so much for having me. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, keep up I know there's also other things that you do.
Yes.
To promote just our beauty. I mean, our country is ridiculous in how beautiful it is. So thank you for everything you do to make sure that keeps happening.
Yeah, it's my honor.